Wait. Bentar. Aku adjust suara dulu. Bentar, aku sambil setel ininya juga. But hello everyone, selamat malam. Halo, selamat malam. Halo Fan, halo Frost, halo Lien, halo Harti, halo Haikal. Halo kakak Elu, halo kakak Elu. Utututu, halo. Halo semuanya, halo Rabi, halo Imam, welcome. Bentar. Nih jelek banget sih. Aduh, bentar. Kenapa sih di sini banget? Nah, udah muncul kan? Iya, udah muncul. Oke, anyway. Aku excited banget untuk hari ini, by the way. Aku sangat amat excited untuk hari ini. Aku hari ini bakal lanjutin untuk Tiny Bunny. Kemarin itu kan aku baru mainnya sampai kemarin tuh apa ya? Kemarin tuh mainnya baru sampai prolognya doang. Yang kita selesai kemarin tuh baru prolognya doang. Terus hari ini kita bakal lanjut ke game utamanya gitu. So I'm really excited. Aku nggak tahu maksudnya kayak bakal senyambung apa game utamanya sama prolognya, but like it's gonna be so excited. Anyway, ini game horor kah? Ini game horor tapi visual novel. Iya, visual novel. Iya benar, visual novel tapi horor. Tapi apa ya? Kayaknya temanya kalau menurut aku tuh bukan yang kayak kayak hantu yang kayak di setannya tuh bukan yang kayak setan-setan di Pasmo gitu-gitu loh. So it's really good. I feel aku enjoy banget sih kemarin waktu main yang prolog itu, aku enjoy banget gitu. Halo Mohan, halo Nova, halo Este, welcome everyone. Hello. Anyway, I'm really excited to play this game today. Okay. Anyway, kita langsung mulai aja. Udah dikedipin sama kelincinya. So happy. Bentar, ini size-nya udah bener belum sih? Bentar, belum bener ternyata teman-teman. Wow, oke. See? I can do this. Oke, cari gamenya di mana? Cari gamenya di Steam. Ada di Steam, judulnya Tiny Bunny. Cari aja, dia ada 2 jenis. Kalau untuk yang prolognya itu masih gratis. Maksudnya prolognya itu gratis. Yang berbayar itu yang harus beli itu yang game utamanya, yang Tiny Bunny-nya ini gitu. Cuman kalau misalkan kalian kayak mau nyoba dulu, kira-kira bakal suka atau enggak, kalian boleh coba dulu sih yang prolognya dulu. Karena yang prolognya juga cuma sebentar. Kalau kemarin aku cuma main kayak sekitar 1 jam doang gitu. So, kita akan mulai hari ini. I'm so excited. Okay. I will try. Aku akan mencoba untuk bacain semua dialognya seperti kayak yang kemarin aku main di yang pertama. But, gitu deh. Hehe. Halo, Superuki, welcome. Halo Ahmad, welcome. Okay. I'm so excited for this game. Okay. Okay. The wind clawed in my windows all night long. Oke, ini kayak temanya masih sama ya. It wandered the field and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow, like casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had mind of its own. The creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot of its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitant. Ini kayaknya masih awal-awalnya, ini masih kayak sama gitu sama yang sebelumnya karena kayak rumahnya gitu ya. The lonely house faced the forest. The dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. Nih game ada jump scare nggak Lun? Ada. Tapi jump scare-nya kalian jangan ngebayangin jump scare-nya kayak Outlast gitu-gitu loh. Rada beda jump scare-nya gitu. Tapi jump scare ada. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There was nobody behind the crooked trees. Hello Nur, welcome. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Wih, ada Ciro. Halo Ciro, welcome Ciro. Ada Bintang. Halo Oshika, halo welcome semuanya. By the way, aku bacanya bakal seperti ini ya. Jadi, kayak aku sambil baca komen sambil baca game juga. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. Jadi, main karakternya umurnya 12 tahun. Episode 1. The all will arrive. Okay. Are we gonna see all ya? Oh yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. What? How How do I? Can I make the how do I? What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? What am I supposed to do? What am I don't want them to read it, cause like speed, voice. Oh, this one. I can just do this. I wanna read it karena aku mau baca. Tapi kalau misalkan wait, oke kita coba dulu. Mendingan voice-nya dari gamenya, atau should I just like, atau mendingan aku yang bacain. Kalau mendingan aku yang bacain ini aku matiin. Tapi kalau misalkan aku mendingan dari gamenya, dan like we can turn it on. Tapi kayaknya aku kecilin lagi dikit. Kita coba dulu. Karena aku nggak tahu suara gimana. Hey, put away your book.
Сколько раз говорила, не читай за столом, вредно.
Oh, okay.
Сидишь, сутулился весь.
It's like, karena aku nggak bisa satu-satu. Aku nggak bisa, maksudnya kalau dia lagi ngomong aku bacain gitu, aku nggak bisa gitu. Jadi kayak 20-30, aku bingung gimana nya. Ya aku rada bingung gimana nya. But anyway, I'll just like read everything, cause like I wanna read something. Okay. Halo Ramadan, welcome. Ini gimana kabar? Baik. Gimana Ciro, apa kabar? How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. Hi. Okay, fine. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan and the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Olya had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic, she almost looked like your typical girls from commercial. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from Costaceous Odyssey. I love that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Or how cold the black forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this? Carved on the other side of the table. Halo Farizal, halo Fajri. Karina. That's my mom's name. By the way, kalau ada yang bingung, kalau misalkan ada yang baru datang, ini gamenya bahasa utamanya sebenarnya mereka bahasanya tuh bahasa utamanya tuh bahasa Rusia gitu. Jadi kayak mungkin ada beberapa yang kayak nama-namanya mungkin ada aneh gitu ya. Just like Halo Shin, welcome. Ini lanjutan yang kemarin. Yes, betul, ini lanjutannya. Tapi ini beda game sih. Kalau yang kemarin tuh aku mainnya yang prolognya doang. Ini udah game utamanya gitu loh. Jadi kalau yang kemarin tuh kayak demonya doang gitu sih, gitu. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. Sure, she was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. Oh wait, bentar. Ini ngulang dari awal nggak ya? Wait a minute. Bentar. Prologan. Bentar deh. Aku rada takut ini kayak ngulang dari awal lagi gitu loh. Maksudnya jadi nanti kita kayak ngebacain semua yang ada di prolognya kemarin. Ini game Rusia kan? Yes, betul sekali. Can I go to the load? Is there anything I can load here? No, nggak ada. No. Oke. Oke. Aku takutnya ini kayak Jadi cerita yang di prolog itu sama kayak gini. Harusnya kan beda ya? Harusnya beda sih. But like Oke, harusnya beda. Oke. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar though. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been a bit bad. She's been in a bit of bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age, sitting under the table. I wonder, was my mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sound coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? Sumpah, feeling aku kok nggak enak ya. Feeling aku kenapa prolognya kayak nyambung, kayak masuk lagi game utamanya gitu. But anyway, I imagine my grandma coming from my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of the bed where Olya sleep nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. Nggak tahu gimana awalnya, apa kayak gini juga sama kemarin awalnya mirip kayak gini, sama sih kayak gini. Cuman aku nggak tahu nih. Semoga well anyway. Aku nggak bisa ini soalnya nggak bisa dicepetin juga, so I don't think aku bisa cepetin. Oh bisa. Ini nggak sih, ini cuma lanjutin ini doang. Halo Wildan, welcome. But if you're a bad apple, it will grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusation. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening in on one of their conversation by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. Ini sama sih bagian ininya, karena aku inget cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black upholstered with meat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of the photos were gone. Glass-covered picture with gray faces of my ancestor. They all had a hat. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Olya was done with her cookies and was looking at my shell like a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. Kayaknya ini udah deh kemarin, Lun. Iya, tapi ini aku gamenya beda. Jadi kayak wait a minute. Jadi kayak ada 2 game gitu loh. Kalau kalian lihat kalau kalian lihat di Steam itu, jadi ada yang Tiny Bunny doang, ada yang Tiny Bunny prolog. Kemarin tuh aku mainnya yang prolog. Makanya aku bingung. Kalau misalkan prolog harusnya ceritanya beda dong sama yang game utamanya. Tapi kok kayak sama gitu ya? What am I supposed to do now? But anyway, aku nggak bisa cepetin soalnya. The pattern of frost formed a picture in the glass. Olya, looks, it's a fox. Where? It looked almost like those optical illusion thingies they put on the back of students' notebooks. A mixture of line at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit, wait. Okay. And look under a certain angle. Not outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose and here's... Hey, it up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much time left. Ah, there it is. But it still doesn't look like one. And I'm telling you, it does. Nuh-uh. It does. Stop it, these kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty patterns, similar to stretched out nestled leaf, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stinks." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Olya always covered her ears whenever she heard something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply. "For the sake of our family." I've always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that starts with a D. D-I-V-O. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. "Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl in my room." Halo, Felis, halo. Mungkin yang prolog cuman inti, sedangkan yang ini ditambah berapa detail. Yes, semoga begitu ya. Semoga begitu. So, you know. Siapa tahu kemarin ada yang belum nonton, jadi kayak biar nggak bingung ceritanya, jadi bisa sambil nonton juga di sini, biar tahu cerita dari awalnya gitu. Ceritanya bakal lebih panjang sih sebenarnya, bakal lebih panjang. Cuma maksudnya awal-awalnya ini loh, apakah awal-awalnya ini sama persis sama yang prolog kemarin aku mainin atau beda gitu loh. Kalau misalkan sama persis aku bakal kayak anjing sialan, tapi kalau misalkan ada beda sih ya well good. Okay. You and your old talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two, and still. Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already. But the owl? There was no owl. Bentar. Apakah akan keluar anjing sialan? Enggak. But there was one. It had a giant glowing eyes. Olya sprang up from the chair and placed her hand on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her finger the size of an apple each. Last year you had a baba in your closet, and now this all? But I saw it! Olya shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Olya pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led into the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with the keys he just found. A minute had passed and the theme from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. Under the sea. It was stored in an incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It was so easy to fix objects, by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Oh my god, that was deep. Mom moved to the living room and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Olya had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn, all curled up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Anjing. Bangsat, kaget. Ya begitu, contoh jump scare seperti itu ya. And then Olya said she saw a giant flying monster outside the window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Olya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After last night, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be so infectious? That night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect for my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to classroom full of kids. Kaget, hayo. Nanti ada lagi jam sekarang, tenang. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Silky holes gaped in the middle of their face, and a pair of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouette. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp on me with their bloodied shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. Wait, okay. I just wish for something to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like glasses I wore made me an outsider to some sort of monsters. My glaze slid across the drawing hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olya begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've gotten the wrong number." Or, "Anton is not around." Awas ya kalau nanti kaget lagi. Enggak. Aku pemberani. Aku lupa sebenarnya. Sejujurnya aku udah nggak inget jam sekarang di mana aja. Tapi aku pemberani, tenang. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmate will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live is a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with neighbors drill, mumbles with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I cannot really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easy going during the day. Its shadow lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stair. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photo of my deceased family, with their shaken eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaky, rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied with noisy draft. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. By the way, suaranya pas nggak ya guys? Semoga suaranya pas. Kalau dari aku sih harusnya udah oke. Soal dari gamenya maksudnya. And then I realized I was in fact hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Pas net, okay, good. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts chilled. I stood up and rushed to the window. I waited to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than the product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there. It means the cold, snowy night, right? Open. Ini kan malam-malam ya, kenapa terang banget ya? Someone was dancing in the field. See? It's the same scene. I think kayaknya memang ini diulang deh guys. Sedih banget. But ya kalau gitu ya kita bakal coba maju aja terus sampai ke berapanya. But like ini sumpah ini bukan game yang sama kok. Ini game yang berbeda sumpah. Black silhouette I could barely make out with the dark forest as the backdrops. They jump around, bask in moonlight, bump into piles of snow, roll around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind. But these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into shadow for a brief moment and then coming back. Bentar, aku jadi penasaran deh. Bisa gak sih kayak... Gak ada sih ininya. Oke. Ya kan sama, makanya aku kayak anjing. Aku nggak tahu, ternyata sama, bete. Mau dilanjut aja atau mendingan aku ganti game. Nanti aku progress dulu sampai yang terakhir. Tanda panah yang 2 itu ini kayak dibikin auto gitu loh. Lanjutin aja. Gimana guys, lanjut aja atau should I just like change into something else? It's like, I really wanna play this game, tapi kenapa dia lanjut dari ending ulang dari awal? Bete. Bentar, aku minum dulu. Gimana guys, mendingan aku lanjut atau should I just like continue or like ikut yang lain, aku sih seru. Okay. Anyway. Bentar aku mikir. Mungkin saya bakal kemana lagi. Iya, pasti ada story-nya ditambah lagi. Cuman maksudnya ini jadi dari awal sampai yang kita main kayak prolog kemarin itu bakal sama gitu loh. Soalnya kayaknya tuh bakal sama gitu. Jadi kayak aku takutnya jadi ngulang lagi gitu. Kayak yang kemarin. Jadi galau. Anyway, ya udah kita lanjut aja ya. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadow for a brief moment and then coming back. Mungkin aku akan coba bacanya lebih cepat kali ya biar progresnya bisa lebih cepat untuk di awal-awal ini gitu. Something bizarre was going on. Shadow dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Wait. Suddenly the music had stopped. The dancing shadow froze in place and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouette immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Wait. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like a bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guests move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with the blanket as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscle. I remembered the funeral. My grandma lying there, hands crossed her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelid with their tiny legs. Then her winky eyeballs would once again move inside their socket, and she'd be able to hear her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket and listening to the squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Buyan, underneath the blemished sun, In the sea of color blue stands the cabin made of wood. Evil leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sound had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hangman. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at the wood, demanding it to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently, as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes! Dust to dust! I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then... the doorknob twitched, slightly. Then it turned halfway once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet finger clutched the blanket. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now, you will see. The door was wide open. The darkness roared inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. Tony? It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinge. I was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corner of my room, waiting for the once weave it to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony? My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tosha, are you asleep? Oh. My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadow. I almost screamed from relief. Olya? I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olya frowned and stuck out her lower lips, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tosha, please. Kenapa jadi Tosha sih? Kemarin mau namanya Tony ya? I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Olya down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Olya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure of myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird? Well, that question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with feasts of lard and long ashen hair. Tosha, you coming? Yes, just a moment. What your baby, 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 da da da, di do di do da do di. Hei bajingan, biasa aja dong jam scare-nya, sialan. Kaget aku. Oh no! Okay. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Olya and her and her all in the morning. Aku tuh tadi udah keinget, kayaknya dekat sini sih ada jump scare, tapi tetap aja kaget, men. Kayak tetap kaget, itu ya begitu. Aku setakut itu sama jump scare, aku sebenci itu sama jump scare. Udah tahu pun tetap kaget, anjir. Wait, santai. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. Ini kayaknya polisinya deh. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olya always hide. Tausya, come here. I felt like a kettle bells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them towards the hallway. Ini anak hilang gak sih yang polisinya nyari anak hilang? A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled to the moment they saw the patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer who wore a grim expression nodded. A boy was gone missing yesterday. His name is Fofa. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. Fofa. Lucu banget sih Fofanya. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hand and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the windows? That's right. Your windows look straight into the forest, don't they? The window. Oh, with you, Bayo. No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his stares, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwillingly under the weight of guilt, which was his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place? By the way, getting used to it? Bit by bit, it's just our little daughter misses the city a lot. I misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is alright. Thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his grey eyes. My head starts spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews. Little fella. He's a witty boy around your age. Wears the same type of goggles. Haha. Bajingan dikatanya goggles nggak lo? Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wanted to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer. Wanted to help with other people just like me. See? I felt so uncomfortable, as if the distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home. Steer away from troubles. The time have changed so much. Mom interjected with a cold voice. You don't say. Well then. What grade are you in, Anton? 6. Have you made any friend here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Then I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone with their shadows, the smell of cheap colognes, and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wonder what this is like for him being all alone there. For some reason, I thought the forest swaying in the wind. What did these poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I've gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other, like they always do, and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Fofa, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. Ooh. I look out the window and the road. The police UAC drove off toward the village. This officer nephew came to mind when I was spitting off old paint from the windowsill. I remember all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. Your average boys and girls investigate all sorts of mystery there. They look for clues, spied on suspicious people. And after a set of amazing adventure, bam, solve any complicated case. They became loyal celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policeman footprints that led to the forest. And then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation on my own? Maybe I'll find that lost boy. And get a reward. Olya will be so happy. And not only Olya, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they will even forget about the quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Olya a Tamagotchi, getting a cassette player and bunch of tapes for myself. And the whole box kinda surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn. I think my dad lost his job around that time. There's that annoying song about it. I had little to no idea what was a counter's job like. They count money, I think? Well, nggak salah sih. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had money to afford sweets. And Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Olya. Oh, thank you for the donation. Akan dibacain di akhir stream ya. Thank you. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals? Or something even worse? Even worse echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself? Hello, welcome. Hello, Arkan, hello. Better go pack your school bag or play with Olya. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. To the kitchen. Okay, we can lie to Mom. It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home. Mom, something's wrong with the TV. The picture is dim and there were stripes all over the screen. My mom's face became visibly distorted. You're killing me here. So you had enough of shooting those stupid ducks now? I told you the kinescope will go dim because of your console. When will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the setting. Please go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine in the morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it? Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Olya's room. Okay, we can run. Ooh! Yes! We can go. I opened the front gate and went into the field, carefully so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. Hello, Fane, welcome. I remember my nightly fears. I saw these silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music started playing in the hat all on its own. Kalau nggak ada notif ya, belum masukin ke notifikasinya. Harusnya ada kok, gitu. Dari aku nggak bisa setting lagi soalnya, jadi udah harusnya kalau kalian udah setting untuk yang bell buttonnya itu udah masuk harusnya, gitu. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. Nakal, Lunette bohong sama mama. Nggak nakal. Nggak. Lunette anak baik. The sun turned my nightmare to ash. But the aftertaste was still there. Distant ringing in my ears. Distorted shadows crawling from the snow alongside me. And a barely audible whisper in my head. Blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent. I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parent, no Olya. The time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest. The forest piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much more scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Olya turned to stone, listening to them. Hello, Awan, welcome. But then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb of a couple days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad looked around, laughing or spent time together almost like it was in a previous life. When they kissed with Olya's present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if the fire broke out, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with that cold eyes, who sometimes visited us in our previous home. The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the background in everything. And somewhere far away, a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. I shuddered, chasing away my delusion, and looked around. There were only me, this white field, and the wind that was sweeping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered around the snow, like a fat snake. Rotten leaves and cornivorous needles frozen in the ice. Dry prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? The senior officer looked gloomy, but still reminded me of the Casanova from my favorite TV show, called The Street of Broken Lights. He was also always anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? Fofa! I heard a distant shout. looked like it came from the river. Fofa! As if the trees were calling out to someone. Fofa! Resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there, behind the trees, hiding. Fofa! I knew something was looking for the lost boy, but still. Something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Its blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's just all in my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wing boldly. Oh! A shadow split from the trees and disappeared from my sight. I looked away just for a moment. But then I turned my gaze back into the same place. It was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painful long hour. Ooh. If you live in next to a forest and then like you see this, you see like there's ada kayak apa ada apa nih namanya, kayak sarung tangan ngegantung gitu ya di pohon. Don't take it. Why would you take that? Why would you do that? Anyway, my muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Hello, John. Welcome. Wait. Okay. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and out sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. Kali lagi punya tetangga. Ya punya tetangga. Justru punya tetangga jangan diambil. Nanti dibilang nyolong jemuran. Bentar, ini aku. Bentar. Oke. Oh? Oke. I look at the mitten once more. Take it! I decide to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Bebe! Fofa! Ambil bang! A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. Hey, Woody! I stepped forward and breathed trees and tried to claim my find. It didn't budge. I pulled harder, the branch cracked and mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squeezy sound. All too heavy. Wet. I squeezed it without thinking and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. It's blood! I froze in place, studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of crackling branches invaded the silence. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance in the giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice. Probably one of the reasons. It gave me strength, spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in the freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. A hoot, a wheeze. Their roar were coming from all directions now. from the dried up raspberry boughs, from twisted pines from under the windfall. Hurry! Run! Don't look back! It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snow clearing became vicious like a quicksand. I was stuck in a place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate sound. Was snow ever this thick? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something was in the snow, clutching my part. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boots slipped out of the hole and my soul were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump and from there ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. The house was my line of defense from the shadow that trapped their wings and creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking from the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was much longer than my surrounding. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in front of our yards and Mom had to lock the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it obediently gave way. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch plank creaked as my pursuer ascended in the stair. Hitam putih tapi bagus, yes, betul banget. Walaupun hitam putih dia gambarnya bagus. Bentar, aku minum dulu. Kalau nak ikut lomba voice acting kayaknya nomor 1 udah enggak. No. I appreciate the thought, but no, I do not know. That's not gonna happen. By the way, karena aku sebenarnya tidak expect ini ceritanya bakal ngulang lagi dari awal. Tapi kayaknya aku nggak bisa sampai selama kayak kemarin untuk stream hari ini. So, anyway, maksudnya kayak if I need to stop, I will stop. You know, just like usual. Cause like I don't think I can. Kayaknya aku nggak bisa kalau untuk sampai rada lama gitu. Hehe. Porch plank creaked as my pursuer ascended the stair. My fingers slipped off the lock and couldn't click it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards. Hello, Dave Zone, welcome. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the beautiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than a blanket. Wheezing breath reached into the house and clashed at me in the waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked through the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you to never slam the door? I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door, but the smell was gone, and the breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, mere 5 meters away from my mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like a snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left my body too. My legs gave away, propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mass of the strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition. My wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you too? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out. Your dad cannot find his cigarette. Be honest. Did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was someone chasing me. I thought. I stuttered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffled my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of a tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicious and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed and in an instant she covered her mouth with her hand. Look over there! At the fence! My heart started thumping as if I became a prey once again and my pursuer were following me in the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door, just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her finger and I gathered all my remainings briefly to look into the kitchen window, facing my fear. Oh, puppies! I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in snow through the icy winter pattern on the glass. Dogs! Just a small pack of strays, with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monster that lived on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me, like a bunny. What do you mean like a bunny? We do not chase people! Bunny do not chase people! I mean, sometimes. But like, most of the time, no, we don't chase people, so, yeah. And what if they're rabbit? The smile had slowly disappeared from my mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attack Olya? Mom? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a kid anymore. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life amongst monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have this? Mitten. Of course! A dark and sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squeezy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Yo! Mom, look! This is Fofa's mitten. That boy the police were asking about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on a tree. I can show where. Let's call the police right away, like the officer had told us to. Mom, look! Ew! A shadow of doubt slowly crept into my mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the image slips away. Stop it this moment. Olya will go insane if he hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. And you joke around like this? At that moment, I realized the mitten was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Good night, yang mau tidur, good night. Come here, my boy, who cried Wolf. Oh, don't just stand there. Come take your pills. A golden colored pills, reminiscent of a deep wasp. A dead wasp fell onto my palms. I already took one during the breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home, and you? Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on, Ham. Come on, take it, or you won't be able to sleep at night. And you'll have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with the similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Halo kakak Reka, halo. Sate. Maybe it wasn't Fofa's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten after all. Just like the forest monster. And oh yes, oh. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Either the pill had immediate effect or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside me anymore. Serenity was over me, bringing yawning indifference along with it. Anton, you done? See? You can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you sleepy? Are you asleep? No, Mom. I was just thinking. About what, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes. So, Lunette bagus kalau buat ginian. Ih, aku dipuji, aku terharu. Ya, senang. As if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? You had the exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. It seems like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had different tastes. Jarang-jarang ini. Thank you, Kakak Reka. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Oya was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episode and switched to other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror, like I was trying to solve some of those spot the different puzzle. Hello, Sigo, welcome. Hello, welcome. Then I went upstairs. Jafar's and Lagos' voice died down. I walked past Olya's bedroom and slipped into my own. What can we do here? Oh yeah, I can open this. One of the drawers empty. I hid the mitten there. Yeah, okay. This simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. I sat on the bed. Hello, Prayogi, welcome. Hello. And only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtain. My tired hand dropped to the sheet. Whether it was due to the medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The corners of the room bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtain. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor. It reminded me of the burial seat. Olya? Who else would be standing there? I stood up and licked my dried up lips. Yeah, Olya, it's not funny. The silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached toward the curtains. Badoom, badoom, beat my heart, controlled by the medication. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. They're looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled open the curtains. Yeah, gotcha! I knew it was you from the beginning. A blindingly bright halo lit up above Olya's head with the settling sun as the background. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, "But Dad, this is not some flashlight." But I brought her to the window one day and sunlight burned her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a light woven child. I saw everything. Oh, really? What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice. It's nothing, just... Olya ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked, "You stole something and hid it there? Are you a thief?" "What? Don't be stupid." "I didn't steal anything." A clear image came to mind, that mitten hanging from a tree branch. Beo. Kenapa sih dia ngagetin kampret? What if I didn't steal it? What if I did steal it after all? From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind the black tree. Olya could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted. Then she... Oh my god, I'm sorry. Maaf ya, aku tiba-tiba sendawa. Mohon maaf. Tiba-tiba butuh sendawa. Hah, bentar. Minum dulu. Then show me. Swear that you won't tell anyone, then I will show you. Olya wore a plodding smile. I swear on my mom's heart. An oath she heard from one of the movies about pioneers we've watched. Don't say things like that. Olya nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. I opened the drawer and Olya leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic critter. Is this someone's mitten? She said that as if she couldn't understand what she saw. A certain boy lost it and got lost himself. Now do you understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander in the forest, right? He must be really cold out there. Will they find him? They will. The police are going house to house, showing his photos to everybody. Olya traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window. And why are they going... And why are they going to the houses and not the forest? Are they scared? The question caught me off guard. The police aren't scared of anything. They've already scouted the forest. Yeah, right, flashes in my clouded mind. Did they really check every nook and cranny, where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later for me? I changed the topic, as if trying to get Olya as far away as possible from the forest thicket. We may get a reward if I go and find this boy by myself. A lot of stuff like in the Wheel of Fortune. Sounds cool, right? Olya wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes, and characteristic for her. What if the owl got him? Nonsense. An owl won't be able to live a human. But you know what? I was picking my words with utmost care. I forced them out of my overextended brain. Stay away from the forest, I think. I stay away from the forest. I think it's... How should I put it? It's cursed or something. Just like in a fairy tale? No, more like in that spooky tape of our parent hide from us. Olya shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Someone was chasing you? No, it's just I was hurrying back so Mom won't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. It was so easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind and her small fire would be gone. You're lucky. Mom won't even let me go outside. I'm like a princess in a tower. Cannot go anywhere. I'll die from boredom here. You're wrong. No one has ever died from boredom. And you have me and your cartoons. And Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon. You know what I would wish... Blah, 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 blah. You know what I would wish for my next birthday? I'll wish for my mom and dad to turn into children so we could go and play together like we used to. Yeah, and you make them as well as bugs. We could place them in a little box. Olya giggled and tugged at my sleeve. Tosha, let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue won over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of hideous apathy. I'm too tired. I don't want you. Come on. It's so boring alone and my mom is always busy. We can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. I know all of your tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? As much as happened after that, let's go. Maybe a bit later. Should I tell you how it went? Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. Oh, I know. Let's play hide and seek. No, Olya. Then draw me a dino. Olya, please. Draw it. Oh my god, I love Olya. Leave me alone already. I blurted out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken back. I've never screamed at my little sister like that. Olya stared back at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Olya from crying. Alright, you win. Let's go watch cartoon for a bit. I don't wanna. I came up to her, put my hand on her soft hat. Let's go. Let's go watch Peter Pan. Boo, you'll fall asleep again. I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. Bentar ya guys. Okay. Okay. I promise I won't. And I'll draw you a full Triceratops later. Hooray! Triceratops! Well, close enough. Olya rubbed her eyes with the sleeve of her pajamas and shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread, and you rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just like how you like it. Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk. Or you'll be yelled again. Wanna bet I won't spill it? The tape is somewhere in the nightstand. Look for it. Olya disappeared into the doorway, and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Turn on. The old TV photon was gathering dust in the corner. And that was left clicking the button on the front panel. Ini nggak ada yang serem-serem kan? Ini nggak ada jump scare kan? I hope there's no jump scare here, so... The tube warmed up and a familiar white noise started dancing in the back screen. I almost reached out to turn the VCR, when the noise calmed down and a blurry image appeared for a moment. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba! It was a dark taiga forest like the one outside my window. The picture split the screen in half. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few moments later, the screen was again overshadowed by noise. Did it catch some rock signal? Local TV station only really show Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only recently I used to watch Probotech before school. Ini orang ngapain sih? Oke. Oke. Bentar. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. And what if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Oya had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her, but in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of it. Search. I sifted through the shelf full of dolls and blue hippos from the Kinder Surprise. Lucu, Mumin. Thank you for the donation. Aku bacain di akhir stream ya. I found the tape I needed thanks to its shabby spine. I got back the rectangle from its box. Ooh, Peter Pan. The tape inside it rustled while reminding the beginning. This rustle was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Image reared my head, me and Olya flying above the forest, tumbling in the soft cloud. My little sister is laughing, but her smiles become more and more forced with every passing seconds. I noticed that the clouds underneath us part bearing and bristly pine tops. Halo Elena, welcome. Enggak, kok nggak telat, it's fine. Swampy darkness slurped among the trees, and the wings are no longer able to hold us and Olya. You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. I rubbed my eyes. No, come, sit. Mom and Dad are arguing again. They're going through rough times. Rough times are lame. On the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow into the dresser. Olga was entertained by the cartoonist dog Nana. Aw, Tinkerbell. Aw, lucu. Okay. Maybe Mom and Dad will buy us dog too? Yeah, right. I'll have my own dog in the Neverland, and a cat, and a parrot. Olya smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me. Have you lost all your baby teeth? Obviously. Olya frowned, deep in thoughts. Peter Pan has baby teeth. What if they won't let you go into the Neverland with adult teeth? We'll think of something. We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the passport. Kenapa dia? What? Hah? What? Hah? I did? Ini kenapa? And why would Dad forge a document? Ini kenapa? Ini kenapa? Ini kenapa? I did nothing. Okay, anyway. Olya took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full. He will. I heard Mom that you did that before. Halo kocok, halo. Ini kenapa sih anjing? Stop. 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 You're scaring me. Your glow ears as big as Dumbo's. Olya got worried and touched her ears. I smiled to myself. Dia bebek kaget anjing. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured a bread, watching the adventure of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. Ini kenapa sih anjing? Keselin suaranya. As if she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagine myself there, in a land where no one ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of broken plates at night. Hello Aji, welcome, hello. It felt like I was dreaming, with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality. Tosha, shut the curtain fast! Why? No one's watching you. It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared. I got off the bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtain. Ini kenapa sih? Sebentar ya, saya kesel nih. Oke, udah hilang. Bangsat, balik lagi. Oh my god. I did my best not to look outside toward the treetops, toward the taiga forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from the shadow of branches scraping the snow. Tosha, Mom thinks I made the owl up. And that too. Thinks I'm a liar since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly it does. Hilang sendiri. You do believe me, right? That it comes every night and I swiftly grabbed Olya's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those qualities? Yes, I believe you, alright? Just don't nag our parent about it anymore. Wait, bentar guys, sebentar. Okay. Never mind. Okay. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at you. Come and tell me if anything happens, and don't look out the window. But it wants me to look. Doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist and never existed. Like it's made up. Just like Mom and Dad say. It will get tired of waiting and fly away. Okay. Are we at the end of the prologue? Wait, what? We follow Peter Pan's adventure as if nothing had happened. As if the forest didn't kidnap kids. As if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from the crocodile and Captain Pan was heading to London on a glided sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Olya's eyelid had dropped. She started snoring lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. Hello, William, welcome. I stood up and left Olya's room. I was looking out of the window, studying the field, when Mom peeked into my room. Enough playing around. It's your first day at school tomorrow. Go to bed. You should sleep properly. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? Hello, Aska. Welcome. Welcome. Adult thinks everything is so simple. As if sound sleep would ensure my classmate would like me. I covered myself with blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corner. My inner voice had question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Oh. Okay. Maybe it's just a part of a growing up and I cannot fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed before me and barriered that was my walls. Yeah! What are you doing? What are you doing, anjing? Branches shook as if calling for me. Wait, can I? Like, hide? What? No. What is it? Oh, okay. Okay lang. The wind howled and on the night, My thoughts were annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I felt into slumber. It has come after a while, the day I feared the most. The first day of the new school term. Ooh. Oh! Oh my god, we're on episode 2! Oh my god. Oke, jadi dia per episode. Oke, I think oh my god, ini I think this might be a good place to stop. Jadi kayak biar satu stream satu episode gitu gak sih? Wouldn't it better? Kayak satu stream satu episode gitu. I feel like it's gonna be better that way. You want to override? Yes, Sabi. Ya kan. I think so. Oke. Semoga untuk yang nonton hari ini kalian semua enjoy. Maksudnya aku nggak tahu nih ada berapa banyak yang nonton hari ini, yang kemarin nonton juga di yang pertama. Kayaknya soalnya ceritanya nggak terlalu beda. Jadi I really enjoy this game. Aku beneran suka sama game ini. And I'm really gonna like finish the game. Tapi bentar, sorry. Tapi untuk sekarang kayaknya I think it's better. Kayaknya I think it's gonna be good if I can just like do like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 like that, something like that. Tapi aku rada kesel aja sih karena aku salah juga sih, aku nggak research dulu, cause like I didn't know. I thought the prologue is gonna be different from like the episode 1, but apparently it's kind of the same. So I'm really sorry buat yang kalian yang udah nonton kemarin dan nonton lagi hari ini. I'm really sorry about that one. I should have checked, but like I did not. So I'm really sorry cause like I really thought it was gonna be different. Jadi thank you banget semua yang udah pada nemenin Lunette hari ini. Thank you. Halo Tegar, punten. Tapi sorry, mohon maaf, udah mau selesai. Thank you banget yang udah pada nemenin Lunette hari ini. Bentar aku baca Indonesian dulu. Indonesian hari ini ada dari Fauzi Setiawan. Thank you for the 4 moonstone, gabut. Nah, thank you for the donation. Dan dari F-chan, thank you. Anyway, aku mau mengingatkan dulu sedikit. Bentar. I wanna like what is this? Aku mau menambahkan sesuatu. Aku mau mempromosikan diri. Bentar, salah. Aku mau mempromosikan diri. Cause like why not? Cause I can. So okay. Aku mau promosiin diri. Just in case beberapa dari kalian belum lihat. Oh ya, aku harus post juga di ini. Aku harus post juga di YouTube. You know. Wait. Bentar. How do I ini dipindahin dulu ke bawah. Oke. There. Jadi ya begitu ceritanya. Nanti aku akan post juga. Siapa tahu ada beberapa dari kalian yang nggak follow aku di Twitter. I don't know why you don't follow me on Twitter, but like follow me on Twitter. Ini aku ada ini. Ya, ada ini, ada ini, ada ini. Ada apa tuh? Nggak tahu. Hayo, ada apa? Aku juga nggak tahu ada apa, buat ada itu. Anyway, thank you semuanya yang udah pada nemenin Lunette hari ini. Thank you. Juta jadi dipakai buat 2.0. No, enggak lah. Aku nggak bakal pakai buat kilap, ya ampun, tenang aja. Aku tuh I'm using my money properly, man. Semua penggunaan aku pokoknya jangan berpikir duit donation dari kalian tuh akan aku pakai buat jajan kilafan gitu ya. Enggak akan. Jangan sembarangan ngomong ya. I'm gonna be really mad if you think like that. I'm gonna be really mad. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, thank you for coming to the stream for today. Untuk besok kemungkinan aku akan stream juga, tapi seperti biasa aku nanti akan umumin aja di Twitter kayak biasa. Karena aku sejujurnya belum tahu akan aku akan aku stream di, maksudnya aku akan stream di jam berapa dan akan stream apa gitu. So, hey, anyway, thank you everyone for coming to the stream. Thank you. I hope you guys going to have a good night today. Aku akan istirahat dulu karena hari ini aku full banget ngapa-ngapain mulu. So anyway, thank you. Bye bye. Good night everyone. Good night. Bye bye. Bye bye.